Hello, my friends. It's Carrie Konyha at holisticspsychic.com in Sedona, Arizona, coming on to share some insights around the cosmic energies that are showing up this week and how we can harness the power of these energies to support our journeys in spiritual awakening, healing, and empowerment. To begin with, I would love to remind us all of what the overarching energetic themes of June are. And these are themes that have to do with learning, growth, and communication. Now, this is even more emphasized this week as the new moon is bringing us into the week ahead. The new moon happened in the sign of Gemini at about 12:36 a.m. today, Sunday, June 18th. So the new moon in Gemini supports us in accessing the energy of adaptability and going with the flow in regard to wherever change is happening in our lives. Now, you could look to see where the Gemini sector of your chart is to see where the new moon fell. The moon has since moved on into the sign of Cancer, but look to see where the Gemini sector of your chart is. The new moon happened at about 26 degrees of Gemini. So you can look to see if you have anything exactly at that degree or around that degree. But even if you don't, the house that Gemini is in will give you insight as to exactly where you're being supported in harnessing the power of adaptability and going with the flow with change. The energy of Gemini gives us more of an energy of objectivity. And so it's a time where we can be a little bit more level-headed. And this is really just the tip of the iceberg. We've got some intense energies going on throughout this week that are supporting deeper awarenesses, and then energies happening over the next few weeks, which I'll of course be talking about. But to start with, let me share this. The new moon and the sun are both squaring Neptune, which is in Pisces. And Neptune is the planet that has to do with our spiritual connection to life, our spiritual connection to ourselves. It's also creativity, it's intuition, things of that nature. And let's remember that each planet and each zodiac sign has its conscious high vibration aspects and its unconscious challenge aspects. So with Neptune, the high vibration conscious aspects is that we can feel more connected to the guidance of our soul, the way our soul is communicating with us around whatever's happening in our lives. And so if we're operating on that more conscious level, it'll be easier for us to access that energy. On the challenge unconscious level, the Neptune energy can also bring in uncertainty and confusion. And so a really good way to assure that you're aligning with the high vibration conscious aspects of what's going on planetary wise is for you to be in alignment with yourself, mind, body, soul. So with the energies that are happening this week, it's actually a really good time to set aside some extra time for meditation, because we've got Mercury energy going on, which supports us in objective thinking. And then with the Neptune energy that we've got going on, again, it's enabling us to access communication that is coming from those intuitive soul levels. This is being deepened by the fact that the sun right now is also opposing the point in space that is connected to the galactic center, the galactic core, which is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. So when we have oppositions, it can feel like two distinctly different energies playing like a tug of war. But on evolutionary astrology level, when we have challenging aspects, we're meant to find ways to find harmony within them. So the way that we find harmony with this opposition between the sun and the moon and the galactic center, the galactic core, which represents an activation or an access to, what feels like cosmic awareness, cosmic wisdom, and an emergence into that wisdom. The way that we can have that balance is through feeding both our logical mind and our soul knowing, not favoring one or the other, but being open to allowing a space for both to merge together. I really feel like, on an intuitive level, that the energy that's showing up this week and unfolding over the next few weeks are really supporting us and having a deeper soul maturity that comes from emerging into cosmic awareness, cosmic wisdom, which we could also look at those deeper levels of feeling more connected to the wisdom of our own souls, our silent knowing. Now, that Neptune squaring the sun and the moon is also squaring the galactic core, which is the square to the galactic core is going to be of influence for the rest of this year. So to me, that means that for the rest of this year, we have this underlying support in being able to access clearer awareness around what our soul is guiding us towards. And again, the challenge is not overthinking things. If we start overthinking things or second guessing things, that's where the nebulous, uncertain confusion aspect of Neptune can kick in. But again, it's not one or the other, it's not left or right, it's both, right? I always love the idea of uniting the wisdom of the soul or the consciousness of the soul with our mental awareness in this way, letting the mind be the strategizing factor, so to speak, based on what the wisdom of the soul is nudging you in the direction of. So the energies around what's going on with the sun and the moon conjunct, which happens every new moon, squaring Neptune, and then Neptune squaring the galactic core, and the sun being opposite the galactic core, that whole part of what's going on astrologically this week is supporting us all in being able to navigate balanced awareness between mind and soul, especially in areas of our lives where we're contemplating or seeing where there's a need for change. Now, this theme of the need for change is something that's going to be playing out strongly over the next few weeks. And that has to do with the fact that the nodes of the moon are getting ready to switch signs. Right now, Pluto is squaring the nodes. I look at Pluto as the archetype of the alchemist. And so alchemizing change as we are coming into this next few weeks up till where the nodes change. I believe that's going to be around mid-July, and I will, of course, be talking about that as we get closer as well. But the other thing I want to talk about that's happening right now is that we've got Mercury and Gemini squaring Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn just went retrograde like yesterday. I mean, it's probably still like station retrograding right now. So Saturn is a planet that supports us in having the self-discipline, the structure that we need to implement in order to achieve whatever our goals are, whatever our responsibilities are, and things of that nature. So when Saturn goes retrograde, it brings us into a time of reconsidering, redefining, and re energizing the inner foundations of, whatever it is that we're intending on creating or manifesting. Saturn is in Pisces, and I've already been talking about how Saturn in Pisces is supporting us in manifesting things that are connected to our soul calling oriented goals and dreams, because Pisces is about that and Saturn brings structure to that. But now that Saturn is going retrograde, it's a time of being able to fortify or strengthen an inner foundation of awareness that's already there, which ultimately will sort of supercharge your intentions throughout the remainder of this year. So this is a really good week to practice self-reflection, meditation, mindfulness, specifically around how our thoughts are influencing our vibration and our reality around us. So another big thing that I want to talk about here is that on the 21st, the sun moves into Cancer, which is also the summer solstice. And so this new moon that we have right now is the last new moon of spring, bringing us into the summer solstice. As we're coming into the sun in Cancer, summer solstice energy, it brings us into a new energetic theme, which is going to carry into July. And this is going to be more of a theme around nurturing our self-care, nurturing things that are connected to the most private, personal sectors of our life, nurturing our home, nurturing our closest relationships with family, friends that we consider to be like family to us. And it's also a time of nurturing whatever the bigger picture intentions were that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the year, right? So spring is the time where we really get clear on our annual intentions, and summer is the time where we do what I call tending the garden. That means that we're growing and fortifying and nurturing the energy and the momentum around our intentions through watering them metaphorically with positive energy, affirmative thoughts, affirmative emotional energies, and weeding the garden, which what we're weeding out is the contrary or the negative or self-defeating thoughts, energies, emotions as well. So the mindfulness theme that we have going on is not only in alignment with whatever the guidance is that's coming in, the awareness from our mind, the awareness from our soul, but it's about being very mindful of how we are feeding energetically the energy of those bigger pictures, intentions that we set for ourselves. Summer is the time to really kick it in gear on the conscious awareness of how you're nurturing those things. And then as we're doing that, we should be beginning to see the first results of our efforts in a way that inspires us to keep it going, so to speak. As we're coming in towards the end of this week, we've got some astrological aspects happening between Mercury, Mars, Chiron, and Neptune. So Neptune is highly influential this week. Mercury is highly influential because it is the ruling planet of Gemini. The sun is in Gemini. The new moon was in Gemini. So on the 21st, we have a sextile between Mercury and Mars. Mars is in Leo right now, and a sextile aspect is a supportive aspect. So when I look at this Mercury sextiling Mars, I see this as having optimistic awarenesses around whatever our motivations and drives and enthusiasms are right now, which is connected to Mars in Leo. We have Mercury sextiling Chiron in Aries, which brings in objective awarenesses around anything that we've been striving towards healing. Chiron has to do with healing our wounds, and it has to do with how we can support other people's healing. So objective awareness is happening along those lines. Mars also trining Chiron gives us a deep motivation to get over a hump of something. If there's something that's been a sticking point for you regarding any type of whatever you've been working on healing, the Mars trining Chiron on the 21st gives us this strong burst of determination and gumption to be done with something once and for all, to overcome the hump of it and be on with enjoying a fun-filled summer. On the 25th, we have Mercury squaring Neptune, which is a similar energy that we're starting the week out with as far as blending those soul insight transmissions with the objective awarenesses of the clarity of mind that Mercury and Gemini gives us. Because of the unique transits that we've got coming in over the next few weeks, I'm going to put together some information for all of you about what it means for us that the nodes are getting ready to change signs. Also, as we are coming into mid-July, we're coming into the sun coming into a conjunction with the star Sirius, which is really significant in regard to like a boost of energy. And then also, because we're coming into the summer solstice, I'm going to do a live stream at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. East Coast time on Wednesday, June 21st, where I'm going to do the tarot for all of us. It'll be tarot for all signs, giving us some insights as to the energies that we're leaping into summer with. So hope you all will join me then, and I will hopefully see you then. All my love, blessings, namaste, and I'll see you around the corner in the next video.